Alright tennis fans, gather round because today we're talking about one of the most fascinating contradictions in our sport. A man who is both brilliant and infuriating, hilarious yet embarrassing, a player who can win a US Open, push Novak Djokovic to the brink, and then completely unravel because a cameraman stepped onto the court for 5 seconds. That's right, you guessed it. Today we're asking the question, is Daniil Medvedev the biggest baby in tennis? Now, listen, before the Medi fans come for us, this isn't just about roasting him. That is part of it though, because honestly, we love the guy. His wit, sarcasm, complete indifference to tennis tradition, it's absolutely refreshing with the absolute robotic player types that we see on tour. But when you lose in the first round of a major, 3 times in a row, mind you, and your entire post-match meltdown is about a camera guy, we've got to have a conversation. This video is going to deep dive into Medi's infamous meltdown this year at the 2025 US Open against Benjamin Bonzi. The fallout, the responses from Andy Roddick and Andrei Rublev.
Like, that's his racket, he can break it if he wants, I don't know.
And why, despite all the whining, people still love Medi way more than other tantrum-prone players like Holger Rune and even the psycho Rublev himself. We're also going to zoom out because Daniil isn't the first baby in tennis, and we hope he's not the last. From John McEnroe to Nick Kyrgios to Novak Djokovic, Holger Rune, tennis history is filled with meltdowns. But there's something unique about Medvedev's flavor of baby behavior. And today, we're gonna unpack why.
Doing like this to the team, stop. I have one. You have a warning, stop. Because the action you did was too much.
So let's set the scene. 2025 US Open, first round of a slam. Medvedev walks onto court as a heavy favorite against Benjamin Bonzi. On paper, this should be straightforward. Look at Medi's ranking, his experience winning the tournament against Novak Djokovic a few years back. It all screams routine straight sets win. But we were kind of expecting an upset. Take a look at their head-to-head. Kind of explains itself. And from the start of the match, Medi looks edgy. Not so locked in. You can just see it in his body language. The muttering, the self-talk, the endless glares at his box. And then it happens. A cameraman walks across the court for whatever reason. We can't really explain it. He must have thought the match was over or something like that. Play is delayed for maybe 10 seconds maximum. Bonzi shrugs it off. The fans smirked, and it seems like we could have moved on quickly. Oh, but Medvedev? Well, he saw the opportunity. He storms up to the umpire chair, gesturing wildly, and starts ranting about how he can't possibly play under these conditions. His voice rises, his hands are flying everywhere, and suddenly, it's not about Bonzi anymore. It's about Daniil versus the cameras. And here's the kicker. Once Medvedev gets going, oh, he does not stop. We've seen it time and time again. It wasn't a quick, hey, that was distracting. It was a full-on monologue. And it was great. The kind of rant where you're not even sure if he's talking to the umpire anymore, or to himself, or to some invisible guy he imagined is watching the case of Medvedev versus the cameraman. The thing about Daniil is when he spirals, it takes his whole game with him. He gets stuck in his own head, the negativity snowballs, he somewhat plays worse, he complains more, and before you know it, Benjamin Bonzi, who deserves huge credit by the way, pulls off the upset. But instead of giving Bonzi his flowers, the entire tennis world is talking about Medvedev and that damn cameraman. He even lost his credentials. That tells you everything. Now, one of the things we love the most about tennis in 2025 is how fast the discourse moves. Within hours, we had reactions from fans, journalists, and even fellow players. Andy Roddick chimed in with a video response.
You said this is not surprising necessarily that he can have a moment on the court occasionally.
No, he loses it, and if I was critical, it would be hypocritical. I remember too.
If a player wants to break their racket, so what? Who cares? But here's the crazy thing. Medvedev was fined $42,500 for that mishap. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Roddick wasn't the only one to chime in. Andrei Rublev, Medvedev's best friend on tour, responded, and to be honest, it's pretty ironic. Rublev, who's infamous for screaming at himself, smashing rackets, hitting himself with rackets, turning beet red in rage, actually defended Medi, saying that Daniel knows he has issues and he's working on them, which is just beyond hilarious, because if anyone knows about the quote-unquote issues, it's Rublev. This is like Holger Rune saying someone else is too dramatic. But Rublev's comment does reveal something interesting. Medvedev knows he's a baby sometimes. He must. He knows he freaks out, and apparently, he's self-aware enough to admit it. That's rare in tennis. Rune never seems to really admit it. Rublev shrugs it off and moves forward, but Medi actually leans into it, which might explain why people find his meltdowns more entertaining than annoying. Take a look at his press conference after the match.
Do you think that you're pushing the lines trying to figure out where the limit is to see if you can get defaulted? Because at a lot of different times, different tournaments for the past couple years, it seems like you're pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to see where the limit is.
Oh, today I didn't do anything bad, no?
You delayed the match for like 6 minutes.
Not me, the crowd.
I mean, you were giving them heart emojis and pumping them up and...
Heart emojis, I love them, love New York. I mean, they did the work, I didn't do anything, and they pushed me to come back into the match, so yeah, I didn't do anything. I mean, I said Riley, whatever I said, I don't even remember, but it was fun for me.
Hey, if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. On this channel, we don't just cover the highlights, we dig into the personalities, the drama, the meltdowns, and the weird, hilarious moments that make tennis the most entertaining sport in the world. So if you want more hot take tennis deep dives like this, subscribe and join the conversation. All right, let's get back to Medi. Now, here's the thing. It's not like the Bonzi meltdown is new. Medvedev has a track record. The 2019 US Open was the birth of villain Medvedev. He freaked out at the US crowd, trolled them in interviews, and he embraced the booze and somehow turned it into fuel all the way to the final. There was the 2022 Australian Open final versus Nadal. Up 2 sets cruising, and then he imploded. Complained about the crowd, the umpire, etc., etc. And how about how he treats the clay courts? Well, it speaks for itself. The common theme: Daniel doesn't just lose to opponents. He loses to conditions, to circumstances, to seemingly the universe itself. And honestly, that's what makes him unique. Kyrgios blows up because of himself, people, the things around him. McEnroe blew up because of umpires. Rublev blows up because of himself. And Medvedev blows up because the world isn't perfectly aligned for him. It's cosmic level baby behavior. Now, of course, Medvedev isn't alone. Tennis is full of babies. But Medvedev? Oh, he gets memed, celebrated. People laugh at him, not despise him. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. Because off court, he's goddamn hilarious. His press conferences are like stand-up comedy. His sarcasm, his willingness to call out the absurdity of tennis culture, his complete lack of pretense, it makes him relatable. He can act like a baby on court and then 20 minutes later win everyone back by roasting himself. Think about his famous 2019 US Open run. He literally trolled the New York crowd, called them out, leaned into the villain role, and by the end, they loved him.
Putting together a good year after victory in Cincinnati, and actually your best Grand Slam tour to date since obviously the Australian Open. You're doing well out here.
Yeah, but again, the only thing I can say that the energy you're giving me right now, guys, I think it will be enough for my 5 next matches. I mean, the more you do this, the more I will win for you guys. Thank you.
That takes a special kind of charisma. Rune doesn't have that. Rublev doesn't have that. But Medvedev does. So, is Medvedev the biggest baby in tennis? Well, if we measure by tantrum volume, maybe not. Rune might win that one. If we measure by destructive anger, Rublev takes the crown. If we measure by sheer court comedy, Kyrgios is untouchable. But if we measure by pettiness, by the ability to unravel over the tiniest things, then yes, Medvedev is the king. Because losing your mind over a cameraman, well, that's not just baby behavior. That's elite level, gold medal, Hall of Fame baby behavior. And hey, maybe that's the point for him. Medi's meltdowns aren't ugly, they're absolute absurdity. They're not Runa screaming at ball kids or Rublev scaring his own fans. They're Daniel complaining about little kids in the stands or ranting about the grass being slippery or losing it over a cameraman. It's comedy, theater. It's Daniel Medvedev, the biggest baby in tennis. And somehow the most lovable one too. But what do you think? Is Medvedev the biggest baby in tennis, or does Runa still take the crown? Maybe Rublev? Let us know in the comments what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the chaos and comedy of the tennis world. That's the hot take. See you in the next one.